Imagine a spiritual path that honors the universal truths in all religions, that sees we are all one. Imagine a movement that respects each person's right to choose their spiritual path. Imagine a spiritual movement that empowers and unites rather than divides. This is unity. For more than a century, unity has offered a positive, practical, and progressive approach to understanding and applying the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. Unity is non-dogmatic and inclusive. Are you a Christian with questions, or just spiritually seeking? Are you curious to explore the universal truths that Jesus embodied and taught, concepts that extend beyond traditional Christian theology? Learn how unity bridges Eastern and Western philosophy and how it can change your life. Experience God consciousness. Raise your awareness. Live more abundantly. We invite you to explore our network of churches and study centers and our world headquarters at Unity Village. Call or email anytime for prayer support.
This is an open letter to Black America from Unity Ministers. We love you, and we embrace our responsibility to eradicate racism. It is our divine appointment to stand with you.
To see you.
To hear you.
To listen.
To be in conversation with you.
To be with your anger without judgment.
To know your sacred worth.
To acknowledge my privilege.
To take responsibility.
To confront complacency.
To back my words with action. Palabras con acción.
To be accountable for effecting change in my community.
To support Black-owned businesses.
To be a bender of the arc of the moral universe that bends toward justice.
To demand the end of police brutality.
To use my voice and my vote to end systemic racism.
To hold you and our country in prayer.
To be a call to action.
To be a voice for justice.
To be a voice for unity.
Strength. Strength is necessary for the flow of spirit to move through the human system. Our allowance is partnered with the degree of our ability to meld with higher source. We may often be reminded of the many inexhaustive encounters that seek our inner strength in effort to manage or master the multiple influence on our emotions. Strength is such a profound operational component. It is incorporated in the structure of divine order and delivered to us accordingly. We recognize our movement when dismantling of comfort zones enter into our relationships, our marriages, our families, our loss of loved ones, our mental and physical health, our finances, our hardcore deadlines, our careers, and so on, and so on. How do we find relief without strength? You see, this is also an opportunity for outreach, a time to make a request for added strength, to elevate our consciousness while gaining further connectivity with oneness. So beautiful to know the Spirit power unfolds and showers us with energies that reminds us of the harmonious connection within. Measurement of how we make progress is often difficult to imagine. All we know sometimes is that we find ourselves moving with enhanced strength and into a lesser conflicting thought process. Our universe is filled with soul power, not easily distinguished from our human concepts. However, we must continue to open and vibrate with the human spirit that is married to creation while waiting our wisdom of the world. This may not yet be fully internalized in our current state of consciousness. All will be revealed in time. So let's continue to cherish and utilize strength energies to overcome all appeared obstacles. For all is well and one with God, even when we tend to perceive from different human perspectives. And so it is. Bonnie Thompson-Ford.
Greetings and welcome to the wonders that only exist at this moment. Thank you for joining us at Unity of Chicago South today. Let us center ourselves. Just for today, we will keep our minds filled with possibilities, not obstacles. We will keep our conversations filled with the good we deserve and watch this goodness engulf us. Just for today, nothing will be impossible. I'm Reverend Dr. Stephanie Wilson Coleman, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. As always, My message is intended to be a message of hope, one that will inspire you to rethink what is possible for your life, to inspire you to believe in your inner star, to carry you to places you never dreamed possible. This month, we're celebrating the spiritual principle of strength. That is the ability to endure, to stay the course, to persevere. The disciple is Andrew, and Andrew represents the stability that lies at the foundation of every true character. The corresponding color is light green, and the location is in the small of the back. The Unity website reminds us, strength is not simply a physical quality. As with all the 12 powers, it expresses itself on 3 levels, each one complementing the others in this life expression on the earth plane. In the physical realm, strength is vitality, endurance, the ability to persist. In the mental area of expression, strength is that quality of mind which enables one to lead, to accomplish, to follow through on decisions, to establish purposes in life, and to hold firm to spiritual principles in daily living. It expresses itself as stability of character. The highest expression, and the one that should determine the direction of strength in other realms, is the spiritual realization of this quality. Here, strength is closely allied with faith. TruthUnity.net defines strength as the energy of God, freedom from weakness, stability of character, power to withstand temptation, capacity to accomplish. Strength is physical, mental, and spiritual. All strength originates in spirit. The thought and the word spiritually expressed being the manifestation. Now with that, let us become still. I greet this day enthusiastically and zealously knowing that I am in complete control of all that happens. I celebrate knowing that if I desire a different outcome, I simply change my thoughts. Because there is no power in the past or the future, I center all my attention, thoughts, and actions on the events of today. As I approach all occurrences, I remove the veil of despair and I remind myself that I am looking in the face of God. Now, as you begin this day, allow your heart to overflow with the deep understanding that you are the miracle you have been praying for. You are filled with an unlimited capacity for love. You're filled with an instant connection to the universe. And vow this day to see only abundance, think only abundance, and celebrate the miracle found within you. In The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, we learn the amazing properties and abilities of the brain. We also become aware that we have just begun uncovering the power of the mind. We've learned the brain processes events, but perhaps it is the mind that internalizes them. When we read about the success of people who have risen from poverty to riches, professionals and laymen are baffled by this mountain climbing strength. There's Oprah Winfrey, the owner of Harpo and OWN, Larry Ellison, the creator of Oracle, Tom Cruise, the actor, Viktor Frankl, the author of Man's Search for Meaning, Wayne Brady, entertainer and comedian, Jim Carrey, actor, and Helen Keller, activist. And these are just a few of who have overcome adversity and overwhelming odds. What inside of some chooses success instead of failure, financial independence instead of poverty, How do you find the strength to climb the mountains in your life? It helps to believe that what does not kill you will make you stronger. To prepare to climb the mountain in your life, your preparation while still in base camp is critical. So before you start the climb, you've got to ask yourself why you want something, then find the answer. Vicki Gould says, asking why is the key to everything. Question always, but answer the why. Why do you want this goal? What does it give you? What will this goal help you feel? We often find why questions irritating. If we have to deal with many of them, we become exhausted. So when we start working toward our goals, we usually start with the what, which is the products and the results, because it's the easiest thing to communicate. We may discuss the how, the values and actions, but we usually don't discuss the why. Why is the purpose, the belief that drives us. It's what sets us apart from everyone else. When you're clear about what you want, you will be able to create a plan to achieve it. Your why is the driving force behind your success. Knowing why strengthens your learning process. It also opens your mind to others' perspective. And digging into the why also helps you to become more innovative. It turns on your creative engine. And when you sharpen your purpose, you do your best work. You find strength in places, events, and in yourself that you did not know existed. Finding your why also inspires others to support your cause. Your why statement is who you are both professionally and personally. It is the basis for all the tasks you perform. It is the products that you create yourself. Your why statement serves to remind you that you are here to make a difference. And knowing this will help you develop the strength to handle any setbacks. Marie Curie says, life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and confidence in ourselves. We must believe we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. The second thing we'll need to climb this mountain is put yourself first. Become your own friend. Everyone has heard, put your oxygen mask on first. Iyanla Vanzant says, how you treat yourself is how you treat God, because you are the representative of God in your life. So when you are putting yourself last, you are putting God last. In order to do this, we've got to learn to set boundaries. Check in with your inner self frequently to ensure your needs are met. You cannot feed others if your plate isn't full. So make a list of your priorities. Ask for help if you need it. One time when giving a talk, Wayne Dyer brought an orange with him to the stage and opened a conversation with a bright young fellow, about 12, and he was sitting in the front row. He asked, if I were to squeeze this orange as hard as I could, what would come out of it? The little boy looked at him like he was crazy and said, juice, of course. Dyer asked, do you think apple juice could come out of it? No, the boy laughed. Then Dyer asked, what about grapefruit juice? No. Well, what would come out of it? And the little boy repeated, orange juice, of course. Wayne says, why when you squeeze an orange, does orange juice come out of it? And the little boy said, well, it's an orange, and that's what's inside. Wayne Dyer said, let's assume that this orange is you and someone squeezes you. They put pressure on you, say something you don't like or offend you. And out of you comes anger, hatred, bitterness, and fear. Why? The answer, as our young friend has told us, is because that's what's inside. It's one of the great lessons of life, Dyer said. It doesn't matter who does the squeezing, your mother, your brother, your children, your boss, the government. What's inside of you is you. It's your choice. So when you feel pressured or stressed, and we're no longer reacting with love, that's an indication to us that something is off. So it's time for balance. When what comes out of you is anything other than love, it's a message for you to remember self-care. So learn to set boundaries. Make a list of your priorities. Check in with your inner self frequently to ensure your needs are met. You cannot feed others if your plate isn't full. And remember, as I said earlier, ask for help if you need it. You take better care of others when you take care of yourself. The third thing you're going to need to do is to train your mental and emotional body as well as your physical self. Your body is stronger than you think, and it will give you what you need when you need it. If you feed it the right mindset, that's an important part of this. It is as important as having the right nutrients. A positive mindset and an even pace will get you through even the toughest times. The fourth thing is decide, commit, and act. Being strong relies on the efficient use of energy. Indecision saps your energy and promotes the failure to act, so learn to be decisive. Consider it a gift that you give to yourself and others. The fifth thing is don't let fear factor into your decision-making. Manavi says that she hates to see people reject opportunities because of the fear that they cannot do it or something might go wrong. I quote her as she says, I understand the need to consider the pros and cons of our decisions, but be self-aware too. Are you identifying risk or being just plain fearful? If fear is keeping you from the next step, adventure, or challenge, then you are allowing it to defeat you. It makes you your own worst enemy, derailing your growth and your development. So with that, you must learn to embrace your fear. Joshua 1st chapter 9th verse, Deuteronomy 31st chapter 6th verse, and Hebrews 13 chapter 5th verse says, we are counseled, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid. Lord thy God is with thee wherever thou goest. We are satisfied to make verbal declarations about the goodness of God, but the state of our lives seems to reflect a different reality. In one breath, we are blessed and highly favored. In the next, we have conversations filled with all kinds of lack, limitation, sickness, and poverty. I know we hear this all the time. We believe that God exists everywhere except where we are, that God is working miracles in lives, but just not in ours. And we spend our days praying the same prayer, not because we don't believe, but because we want a different answer. Now, I might just be talking about me as I say that. Everyone sitting here today, regardless of age, gender, sexual orientation, or life circumstances, has received God's counsel. But sometimes we are afraid to act upon it. So today, spend no more time thinking you don't have what it takes to live your dreams. You must start to believe in the magic that you can create. I want you to beware of limited imagination. We've been mesmerized with all these tales of woe and all the negative things that we hear about us from other people, and all of these things we hear on the news. And we spend an inordinate amount of time talking about the mountains in our lives and thinking that something else could go wrong. We're constantly using our power to create trials and tribulations. We've been told that if there's any good sense or virtue of God, then nothing is impossible. And if nothing is impossible, then there are no limits. This implies that the key to living your best life is the key to where your focus is. And your focus must be on your possibilities and not the obstacles. So starting today, do not allow your minds to actively participate and flirt with illness or failure or unemployment or death or poverty. Take the advice given by Nelly in one of his rap songs that says, instead of talking about how bad crime is, imagine blocks and blocks of no cocaine, blocks of no gunplay, ain't nobody shot, so ain't no news that day. So once you're able to hold the positive vibration, you will be able to manifest the experience. Because living out of our imagination is easier than you think. And I say that a lot. There is no requirement for you to do anything else. That once you live out of your imagination, you will limit the time that you have to spend thinking about negative activity. So today, I want you to simply shift your focus to what you would like to experience and spend more time in your imagination. Just for today, I want you to imagine that you have all the strength that it takes to climb every mountain, that it is with this strength that you become unconquerable, that you find your power. Let's be still. Just for today, I will trust the power greater than myself to guide and direct my steps. I will seek out the things that make my soul smile and take the time to appreciate the beauty that surrounds me. I will believe just for today that the universal power was working to shape my world in ways that I cannot begin to imagine. Just for today, I will not be separated from God. So I want you to get your climbing gear and get started up that mountain because you have the strength that it takes. See, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Trust your greatness. Namaste.